Have you ever received a lump of coal in your stocking at Christmas? Well, I felt like last night I had the equivalent of that with this film here, Jack Frost. Or as I like to now call it, Jack Frost and the 97 minutes I lost.
I'm a frozen freak of nature.
Welcome back to my latest 12 Days of Christmas episode. Yes, so last night I sat down and I watched Jack Frost. Now, I've never seen this film in its entirety. I've seen bits and pieces as it's been on. I've never actually watched it. I thought I'd change that. I bought this after Christmas last year for about £1, I think it was, with the intent of reviewing it for Christmas this year, and thusly I have. So, I don't know. This film here came at us in 1998. It was released here in the UK in February of 1999, directed by Troy Miller and written by Mark Steven Johnson, who would actually go on to direct both Daredevil and Ghost Rider. Yes. Now, what can go wrong with this film? I mean, firstly, Michael Keaton, fantastic. I love Michael Keaton. He's a great actor. Kelly Preston, the late Kelly Preston, very good. Yeah, and it's, you know, sold to me as a magical Christmas film with this snowman that comes to life and sort of bonds with his son. Yeah, the story itself is about this father. He's, well, the film would have you believe that he's a father who doesn't keep his promises to his child, but you don't really get the sense of that. He's just too busy. He's too busy with his work. He doesn't feel like a bad father. He's a good father, but just his music career has him on the road a lot and this sort of a thing, so he misses out. But he realises at Christmas this one year that what's going on with him, and he decides to turn around and put his family first. But on the way back, he tragically dies in a car accident. We then jump forward a year to the next Christmas, and obviously his son is still mourning his death, but for a little bit of sort of Christmas magic, he appears in the form as a snowman, in the embodiment of this snowman, and has the opportunity to sort of make things right with his son before he eventually has to pass off to wherever he goes to. And that's the crux of the film. I mean, watching this film, I think my jaw was on the ground for the entirety of its runtime. What can I say? It's not going to be positive about this film. Yes, the snowman is hideous. The special effects for the snowman is creepy in a sense. I just found the film to be lacking. I thought Michael Keaton was wholly miscast in the role. I like Michael Keaton. I didn't particularly like him in this. Interestingly, the snowman was actually designed on George Clooney, because George Clooney was meant to be in the main role, but George Clooney couldn't do it because he was doing Batman and Robin, and thusly they pulled in former Batman Michael Keaton to do this one. So did George Clooney dodge a bullet with this film, or did he just take another bullet with Batman and Robin? That's another story, isn't it? But yeah, this film, I just didn't feel any connect to the story whatsoever. And my wife was watching it. Now, when my wife watches a film, she'll take it on face value. She doesn't analyse a film like what I do, or go, think about things. And I'm questioning through this film. There's things I'm questioning, like why does this snowman have teeth? Why does he have teeth? I don't get that. That was like sort of grating on me. I know in the house he was eating. It's implied that he's eaten a lot, and I was asking, does he have a digestive system? These sort of questions are coming into my mind. That's how bored I was. And how does that work? Because he can detach his head from his body, so how does the food get down into him? I don't know, Christmas magic, I suppose. Yeah, this whole film seems like a wasted opportunity. I understand what it was trying to do. I get what it was trying to do, and there could have been a nice story in its heart, but ultimately everything just seemed so sort of frugal. So it didn't connect. The story wasn't deep at all. It's just a series of events. So the kid, you know, like I said, I don't get a sense of the dad being one of these fathers who can't keep his promises. Not like the father, you know, Robin Williams played in Hook as a sort of example to this. That's what you're meant to be getting, but you didn't get that. The son, okay, he's mourning the loss of his father, fair enough. There's this B storyline with this bully, this kid who's a bully, and he has issues with, but the kid really isn't a bully. Beyond them two just sort of snowball fighting each other, do you know what I mean? And then, you know, and my wife's trying to defend it because she quite enjoys the film. And like I said, face value, she don't really analyse films or anything like that. And I'm winding her up all the way through the film with these silly questions. How's this happening? Why is that happening? And that winds her up something even more. And I said to her, I don't get the film, I don't get it. She goes, well, it's, you know, it's his first Christmas without his father. I said, well, it's not, is it? I goes, because his father's there in the form of a snowman. So it's not his first Christmas without his father, because he's present in a different form. Next year will be the first year without his father, or the year before, when his father actually died, would have been the first year without his father, because his father was on the way back on Christmas Eve. So anyway, I was just winding her up, and it just gets to her. That was the most fun I had with this film, was looking and asking these stupid questions about how this snowman fits. And then when the snowman's going through the old melting process, I'm saying, well, why don't you just take his head off and shove it in your freezer? You know, you can open the freezer up. Well, Dad, how you doing? See you later. You know, we know that you can lose the snow because it goes through the trees. I just didn't get the film whatsoever. But like I said, beyond the fact that Michael Keaton feels horribly miscast within the film, this ugly looking snowman that's movements, I believe it was made by Jim Henson and his company, but its movements and its facial features were based on that of George Clooney. But it just looks creepy. A story that doesn't meld together very well, or you know, it wants to have heart, but it just doesn't. It loses any semblance of emotion whatsoever, and some of the acting at the end is atrocious. Michael Keaton, when he's stood there facing Kelly Preston, and he's saying his goodbyes, some of that is just, you know, from Michael Keaton himself, it's just cringe. It really is. So unfortunately, Jack Frost, is a complete failure. He's the world's coolest dad, and he's going to prove it. This film, I don't know. I'm just still flabbergasted that this exists as a movie. It's no wonder I haven't watched it. But there we go. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this film? Do you like this film? You know, it's just my opinion, and that's all it is at the end of the day, just my opinion. And that's all I can give you, my thoughts on it. But I didn't like it. Jack Frost, the 97 minutes, I lost. I'll see you tomorrow for another 12 Days of Christmas. Take care.
Happy holidays! You guys are great!